John, just before we move on from United, he's generally perceived to have done better than Louis van Gaal, and I think he has. But there are a couple of issues there. One is the way he's treating Rashford, who I think is a potentially top-class player, and the other kid I think could make a player is Lingard. But there's a blockage there, if you like. It seems, that Lukaku has to play. They paid 75 million for him. He will score goals against the lesser teams. But Rashford is playing out of position all the time. I mean, he either plays on the right wide or on the left wide. Surely that is arresting his development as a footballer, and in the position that he should be playing in, which is through the middle.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Eamon. I think when he came on to see him, seen there a couple of seasons ago, he showed great promise. He looked like a good finisher. He looked like a lad who could go on to be at the top, to reach the top. And he hasn't progressed, and he seems to have lost confidence. He seems to have been misdirected, I would say, and that's would be down to the manager and what he wants them to do or where he wants them to play. I mean, where you want a player to play is the most important thing of the lot. I think he's a natural centre forward, a striker who, given the freedom to do what needs to be done, can do it. I think he's lost confidence in himself, Eamon, because he's been asked to do things on the left wing or right wing that are not his natural positions, and he seems to be a sensitive type of lad.
Yep.
He's not a loudmouth lad and at that age it's very, very, very important to get the right directions, and I would suspect, like I think you suspect, he hasn't been directed in the right way, and I think he's suffering and hasn't progressed as a player as we all expected him to.
And that's again in stark contrast to Guardiola at Manchester City, who has, I think, improved Raheem Sterling dramatically. Actually, he's scoring goals now. He's top scorer for City. He's also dramatically improved De Bruyne, who is now, I think, one of the best players in Europe, John. And he's a playmaker. He's a goal scorer. He's a guy who can change games. And I never thought, and this is another interesting fact, that Mourinho had De Bruyne at Chelsea and couldn't make anything of him. He had Salah, who's at Liverpool now, doing amazing things at Chelsea, and he couldn't do anything with Salah. So here you have a situation with, just take 4 or 5 young players that Guardiola has shown he can improve young players. Mourinho has shown the opposite, actually. He doesn't even recognise what their strengths may be. In the case of De Bruyne, he played wide-ish for Chelsea, and in the end, Mourinho sold him. Yeah,
well, I think that's a bit harsh on Mourinho, Eamon. And while he was, De Bruyne was there and Salah was there, he was winning the Premiership. I think De Bruyne was. This is what, 4 years ago.
I'd say, he went. I'd say,
yeah, he was only young, 21, 22,
yeah.
And Mourinho, as we know, the works they have to do it straight away, Damon.
Yeah.
And he was winning at Chelsea, despite the fact that he let those players go. So
yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't criticise him for that. Now, I think what you have to criticise him is not recognising the potential talent of those players. But Mourinho can't wait, Eamon. He can't wait to do it. He has to do it straight away.
Yeah.
And you'll find with De Bruyne particularly, going to Chelsea, say he's 22, I don't think he had the personality, Eamon, to show what he could do at that age as he has now.
Yeah.
He's 26 now. He's got the right manager coming in at the right time in his career. I think Sterling would be the same. I think I'm not running Guardiola down. Guardiola's done a brilliant job in including those players. He's brought the lad in at left back.
Fabian Delph.
Delph's in at left back to do a job. Actually, the Brazilian player is playing better. The
Fernandinho is, he's really performing.
You know, he's making passes now that I haven't seen him make in the last few years while he's playing for Manchester City. So there's no doubt Guardiola has improved the players that he's got, which all the great managers do. But I wouldn't be too harsh on Mourinho for the players that he let go at Chelsea. I would if he wasn't winning the Premiership at Chelsea at those particular times.